April 27, 1945. Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. The transport truck lurches to a stop, and Greta Hoffman's stomach clenches. Through the canvas flap, she can see guard towers silhouetted against an impossibly blue sky. The air here smells different, sweet, like flowers and fresh-cut grass, nothing like the acrid smoke and decay she left behind in the rubble of Berlin. She's 23 years old, a radio operator for the Wehrmacht Signals Corps. And she's terrified, because everything she's been told about what Americans do to captured German women is about to become real. The propaganda films flash through her mind, the warnings from her commanding officers, the whispered stories among the female auxiliaries about what happens when you fall into enemy hands. Her hands are still caked with dirt from the cellar where they found her 3 days ago, hunched over a dead radio set, trying to send messages to units that no longer existed. She hasn't bathed in 2 months, maybe longer. Time stopped meaning much after the water stopped running in their barracks, after the soap rations disappeared, after everything became about survival hour by hour. The truck door opens. An American soldier, impossibly young with freckles across his nose, gestures for her to step down. He doesn't grab her, doesn't shove, just waits. This confuses her more than violence would have. She climbs down on shaking legs, her Wehrmacht auxiliary uniform stiff with sweat and grime. There are other women here, maybe 40 of them clustered in the processing area. Some are crying. Most look as bewildered as she feels. A female officer approaches, American but speaking German with a thick accent. She's holding a clipboard and wearing a clean, pressed uniform that seems to glow in the sunlight. The woman's hair is curled. She's wearing lipstick. Greta can't remember the last time she saw lipstick. The officer begins explaining procedures: medical examination, delousing, shower facilities, assignment to barracks. The words wash over Greta like static, but one word catches: shower. Hot water, the officer says, as much as you need. Soap, towels. Greta's throat tightens. This must be the trick, the trap, the moment before whatever comes next. She's been without proper washing facilities for so long that her skin itches constantly. There's a rash on her back that burns. Her hair, once blonde and carefully braided, hangs in greasy clumps. She smells herself. Sour sweat, fear, the accumulated filth of collapse. They're led into a long, low building. Inside, it's cool, clean. The floors are concrete but swept. There are windows, real glass windows, not blown out or boarded up. The light streaming through them seems unreal, too bright, too normal. A German-speaking American nurse, an older woman with kind eyes, begins the processing. She checks Greta's papers, asks questions about her service, medical history. Greta answers mechanically, waiting for the interrogation to turn harsh. It doesn't. The nurse makes notes, nods, tells her she'll see the camp doctor tomorrow for a full examination. Then the nurse hands her something, a small bundle. Greta stares at it. A towel, white, thick. Actually white, not gray or brown or stained. She touches it. The fabric is soft, impossibly soft. She's been drying herself with whatever she could find for months. Newspaper, her spare undershirt, nothing. When did she last feel something this clean against her skin? The nurse also gives her a bar of soap. Real soap. Greta lifts it to her nose before she can stop herself. It smells like flowers, like some memory of before. Before the war consumed everything. Before the bombs, before the retreat. Before the world became ash and hunger. Her hands are shaking. You'll shower first, the nurse says gently. Then we'll get you into clean clothes. The medical exam is tomorrow. Take your time in there. The water's hot. There's no rush, no rush. The words don't make sense. There's always a rush, always someone yelling, always the next crisis, the next order, the next catastrophe. Greta follows another woman down a corridor. The American guard walking with them is a woman too. She's chewing gum. The casual normalcy of it makes Greta want to laugh or cry or both. They enter the shower room. And Greta stops breathing. There are individual stalls, not a communal room where you're exposed and vulnerable. Individual stalls with curtains, actual curtains for privacy. The American guard demonstrates the faucet. Hot on the left, she says in broken German, cold on the right. You control it, you choose. She mimes turning the handles, then she leaves, just leaves. No one standing guard, no one watching, no one timing her. Greta steps into the stall, pulls the curtain. Her hands fumble with the buttons of her uniform. The fabric is so stiff with dirt it barely bends. She peels it off, peels off the layers of underclothes that have become almost part of her skin. Stands there naked in the stall, shaking. She can see her own body, ribs too prominent, hip bones jutting. Bruises she doesn't remember getting, the rash on her back throbs. She turns the left handle. Nothing happens. She turns it more. Then she hears it, the pipes clanking, and then water, warm water. It hits her hand first. She jerks back. It's actually warm, not cold. Not the icy shock she's endured for months in whatever broken facilities they could find. Warm. She adjusts it hotter. The steam begins to rise. She steps under the spray, and the world stops. The water cascades over her head, her shoulders, her back. It's hot, properly hot. The kind of hot that makes your skin tingle. That makes you gasp. That makes you feel alive. She stands there, frozen, as water she didn't earn, didn't beg for, didn't fight for, just pours over her. Unlimited. The American woman said unlimited. She reaches for the soap. Her hands are clumsy. She's forgotten how to do this. How to do something gentle, something for herself. She rubs the soap between her palms. It lathers. Actually lathers. Not like the caustic substitute they'd been given in the barracks. Not like the harsh chemical blocks that stripped your skin and left you raw. This is real soap. It foams white and thick. It smells like roses, or maybe lilacs. Something beautiful. Something from a world that still has beauty in it. She brings the lather to her face, begins to wash. The dirt comes off in streams, gray water at her feet. She scrubs her arms, her chest, her stomach, everywhere. The soap glides over her skin. The hot water rinses it away. She washes her hair, works the soap through the matted tangles. Her scalp tingles, burns a little, then feels clean. Actually clean. She can't remember the last time her scalp felt clean. She stands under the spray, letting the water run through her hair. Hot water, as much as she wants. She could stand here for an hour and no one would stop her. The thought breaks something inside her. Her breath catches. Her throat closes. She braces her hands against the tile wall. The water pounds on her back, on the rash that's been burning for weeks. It hurts, but it's a clean hurt, a healing hurt. The tears come before she can stop them. They mix with the shower water. She's crying, sobbing, her shoulders shake. The sound echoes in the stall. She tries to muffle it, tries to stop, but she can't. Because this is wrong, all of this is wrong. These are the enemies, the Americans, the ones who were supposed to be monsters. The ones who were going to brutalize captured German women. The ones the propaganda films warned about. The ones her officers described with fear in their voices. And they gave her hot water. They gave her soap that smells like flowers. They gave her privacy. They gave her a choice. You choose, the guard said. You control the temperature, such a small thing. Such a stupid, insignificant thing. But Greta hasn't controlled anything in years. Not since she enlisted. Not since the war became everything. Every moment has been orders, commands, survival, someone else deciding if she eats, if she sleeps, if she lives. And here in this enemy camp, in this place she was taught to fear more than death, someone hands her a bar of soap and says you choose. Her mind spins back to the last months in Berlin, to her own officers, the ones who were supposed to protect her, care for her, lead her. She remembers the Wehrmacht captain who screamed at the female auxiliaries for asking about food rations, who called them parasites, who said they should be grateful to serve the fatherland in any capacity. She remembers the SS officer who looked at her and the other women like they were livestock, useful until they weren't. She remembers the retreat, the chaos, the officers who fled first, who took the vehicles, the supplies, who left the female auxiliaries to find their own way through the Soviet advance, who told them to walk, to survive however they could. She remembers the barracks in those final weeks. No heat, no water, sleeping in their uniforms because there were no blankets left, eating potato peels when they could find them, the constant cold, the constant fear, the constant knowledge that they were expendable, that the fatherland they served viewed them as tools, nothing more. And now she's in an enemy camp, and there's hot water, unlimited hot water. She adjusts the temperature hotter, then cooler, then hotter again, just because she can, just because someone said she could. The control is intoxicating, terrifying. She doesn't know what to do with it. The soap slips from her hands. She bends to pick it up, washes herself again. She doesn't want to stop, doesn't want to leave this stall, this moment, this confusion, because out there she'll have to face what this means. She'll have to face the fact that everything she was taught is a lie, that the enemies are treating her with more humanity than her own side did. That dignity isn't about flags or nations or ideologies. It's about hot water and soap and being allowed to choose. It's about being seen as a person. Not a tool, not a symbol, not a piece of propaganda, a person. The water begins to cool slightly. She adjusts it, marvels again that she can. She washes her feet, her legs, every part of her, scrubs until her skin is pink. Until she's clean, actually clean. She turns off the water. The silence is sudden, loud. She stands there dripping, reaches for the towel, the white towel. She pats her face. The fabric is so soft it almost hurts. She dries her arms, her body, her hair. The towel darkens with water but stays clean. It doesn't smell like mildew, doesn't have holes. It's just a towel, a clean, soft towel, such a small thing, such an enormous thing. She wraps it around herself. Steps out of the stall. There's a mirror on the wall. She avoids it at first, then forces herself to look. The woman staring back is a stranger, clean, pink-skinned, hair dark with water but clean, eyes red from crying, cheekbones too sharp. But clean, human. She looks human again. Not like the half-dead creature she'd become in those final weeks. Not like the thing she saw reflected in broken windows in Berlin. Human. The nurse is waiting with clothes, not a uniform. Simple clothes, a dress, undergarments, all clean, all soft, all in her size somehow. Greta dresses slowly. The fabric feels strange against her clean skin. Too gentle, too normal. She's forgotten what normal feels like. The nurse leads her to the barracks. It's a long wooden building. Inside there are rows of beds. Actual beds with mattresses, with sheets, with blankets. Each woman gets her own bed, her own space. There are windows. The evening light streams through them. Golden, peaceful. Some of the other women are already there, sitting on their beds, looking as bewildered as Greta feels. One woman is crying quietly. Another is touching her sheets over and over like she can't believe they're real. Greta is assigned a bed. The nurse shows her where the latrines are, where the mess hall is. Breakfast is at 7 a.m., she says. You'll get 3 meals a day. Regular meals. The doctor will see you tomorrow. If you need anything tonight, there's a guard at the end of the hall. Just ask. Then she leaves. Greta sits on her bed. The mattress gives slightly under her weight. It's not soft exactly. But it's clean, it's intact. There's a pillow. She touches it, presses her face into it. It smells like soap, like the soap from the shower. She lies down, fully clothed, on top of the blanket. The ceiling is intact. No holes, no water damage. No signs of bombing, just a ceiling. She can hear birds outside, actual birds singing. Not air raid sirens, not artillery, not screams. Birds. Her body is clean. Her hair is clean. She's wearing clean clothes. She's lying on a clean bed, and she's a prisoner of war, a captive, an enemy. The confusion is overwhelming. It sits on her chest like a weight. Everything she knew is upside down. Everything she was taught is wrong. The Americans were supposed to be the barbarians, the monsters, the ones without culture or humanity, and her own side, her own officers, her own fatherland. They were supposed to be the righteous ones, the protectors, the superior civilization. But which side gave her hot water? Which side gave her soap and privacy and choice? Which side treated her like a human being? The questions circle in her mind, relentless, exhausting. She closes her eyes. She can still feel the hot water on her skin, can still smell the soap, can still feel the softness of the towel. Such small things, such ordinary things, things that shouldn't matter, things that shouldn't shake the foundation of everything you believe. But they do, because when you've been stripped of everything, when you've been cold and filthy and hungry and afraid for so long that you forget what it's like to be anything else, when your own side treats you like you're disposable, like you're nothing, then someone hands you a bar of soap and says you choose, and it changes everything. Greta lies there as the light fades, as the barracks fills with other women, as the sounds of crying and whispered conversations fill the air. She lies there and feels clean, and confused, and guilty, and grateful, and terrified, because tomorrow she'll have to face this new reality. She'll have to reconcile what she believed with what she's experiencing. She'll have to figure out who she is now that the war is over, now that she's a prisoner, now that the enemies showed her more kindness in one afternoon than her own side showed her in months. But tonight she's just clean, and warm, and safe, and that's enough. That's more than enough. That's everything. The tears come again, quieter this time. She lets them fall, lets them soak into the pillow that smells like soap, lets herself feel everything she's been too afraid to feel. The relief, the confusion, the grief, the anger, the gratitude, all of it. Outside, the Georgia evening settles over Fort Oglethorpe. The guard towers stand silent. The American flag flaps in the breeze. And inside Barracks 7, a German radio operator who once believed in the superiority of her nation, lies on a clean bed and realizes that humanity isn't about flags or propaganda or ideology. It's about hot water and soap and the simple dignity of being allowed to choose. Such a small thing, such an enormous thing, the thing that changes everything. If you've ever had a moment where everything you believed was challenged, drop a comment with where you were and what year it was. These stories of captured women experiencing unexpected humanity are rarely told. There are dozens more accounts from Fort Oglethorpe, from other camps, from women on all sides who found that the enemy wasn't what they expected. Next time we'll explore what happened during Greta's first meal in the camp mess hall, what she was served, how she reacted, and the American soldier who noticed she was crying into her mashed potatoes. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Because these forgotten stories of women in war, of humanity in unexpected places, of moments that shatter propaganda, they deserve to be remembered. They deserve to be told. And Greta's story is just beginning.